Hi everybody, are you ready for the baby fairies? As I said, for the baby fairies, you will need to do a little bit of sculpting. And what I will use, you can use just plain the needle tool or the X-Acto knife. As you know, I like to use my whatchamacallit, my carving tool for the that just disappeared from here. I had it here a minute ago. And I have actually put it in my Amazon influencer store if you want to use it. I have no idea what I did with it. I got it ready for the, and I guess I got it completely ready away from here. Never mind, I can do with other stuff. But I did put the wax carving tools. See, this is one of them. And they are under $10 a set of 12. They are in my Amazon influencer store. And then I found a few other sets that are really, really good, including one that has both the rubber-tipped sculpting tools and some ball styluses. Hi, Carrie. Hi, Tina. Hi, Manny. Hi, Angel. Good afternoon, Carrie. Okay, so for the we are going to do this in 2 stages, actually 3 stages. The first, we will be making the head, sculpting the head. And for this, remember in the list of hi Soile, hi Teresa, in the list of necessary, I said grab some wire because we will need some wire to use as an armature. And I'm going to make actually 2 heads, so you can watch how I do it twice. And I guess I got 2 of these and I didn't get the cutter. Just a second. Oh, goodness. And talk about having everything ready, huh? Yeah, I got everything ready, all right. Okay. So, bonjour, Cécile. So I'm going to cut this in 2. You don't need the armature to be too big, okay? I'm going to cut it in 2, and because, of course, I don't want it to get out of the clay, I'm going to make a little loop. And it's even a little bit too long, but it's fine. You can loop it or cut it afterwards. Then, what I have here is actually Sculpey Living Doll mixed with some translucent. You can use whatever. You can use a beige chair, flesh, not. I was thinking in French, chair, and in English I said chair. So anything that might be flesh. Now just be careful because if you read my review on various clays that's on my website, I said that if you use Super Sculpey, be very careful because Super Sculpey darkens a lot when baked. So unless you want very tanned baby fairies, you might want to mix the Super Sculpey with a little bit of white and a little bit more translucent. I like to put translucent in the living doll because the living doll, even if it has a beautiful color, and it actually comes in 3 colors, does not have translucent, and you need a little bit of translucency whenever you're trying to imitate the flesh. So practically, what you need to do is to get your clay sheet if you want to make them pretty much equal. Okay, let's say pretty much equal, and I'm going to cut 2 squares just to have them similar in size, and then make 2 balls. Hi, Carol. And you will see that living doll is very easy to work with. It's a very marvelously pliable clay. But again, you can use whatever. Cernit is fabulous for this because it gives that alabaster type look. That's why it's fabulous for a sculpting, anything that's miniatures. Only that you kind of have to go and put it in the fridge from time to time because it can get too soft. Hi, Pauline. Oh, I'm glad that you're able to be here. Okay, so now I have 2 little balls. You know what? I'm going to, but no, I cannot do that. I was thinking of changing. I forgot that on this specific camera, I cannot change during the transmission, the settings. Now I'm going to cut a little slit here and insert my wire. It's been ages since I last made any baby fairies. Now you have to think that all you'll see from these baby fairies is the face and the tip of their ears. Bonsoir, Regine. Let me say that really quick in French. And Cécile, if you can help me from time to time. Donc, j'ai pris un peu de fil à cuivre pour mettre comme une armature pour m'aider quand je vais sculpter. Et ensuite, j'utilise le Living Doll de Sculpey avec un peu de translucide. Mais vous pouvez utiliser n'importe quelle couleur de pâte chère. Et le cernit est absolument fabuleux pour ça parce qu'il donne ce finissage d'alabastre. Now, what we have in the little faces, and you can make them a little bit flatter, just a pinch flatter. Like this. So you will have the eyes, obviously, the nose, and the mouth. And I'm going to miss my sculpting tool so terribly. Okay, let me see. This gets... So make sure that you don't have like I have here, because I didn't take my eyeglasses off. You don't have any kind of folds showing up on the face, and you have the face fairly round and already smoothed out. Now we are going to have the eyes. Let me see if because this is a little bit too bright. No, this is better, right? So you're gonna have the eyes. So make 2 little slits for the eyes for now. And then you'll have the nose somewhere here. And then you'll have the mouth. Can you even see? Let me see if I can get into the settings of this. I might have to switch to the other camera. I don't think that you can see properly with this. Let me switch to the other. Let me bring the other camera here and fix it. Sometimes that's the only problem with this camera, is that even if it has a much better definition than the other one, it doesn't let me adjust the settings in Google Hangouts. Google Hangouts is the only one that does that. Oh. Give me just a minute to switch the camera from. I hope you don't get too dizzy. Because on this one I can adjust the contrast and luminosity by itself. It has a different software. Alrighty. Okay, let me put this one back here. Now let's see if we can make it see a little bit better. Which of them did I start? This one. Bonjour, Tipounette. Okay, now I guess you can see it right. Okay, so I'm going to try and be definitely in the, going to be a little hard. And see, the main issue is that Hangouts reverses my camera view on my side. Oh, merci, merci, envoie-moi des photos. So, you have to think, I'm going to have to take off my eyeglasses so I can see what I'm doing. Let me see if we get a better light. No, better without the light. So I won't be able to see the chat for a little bit, but I'll put on my eyeglasses from time to time. So, okay, so I made the lines for the eyes. Now you have to think that they are sleeping. So all you have to do is to pretty much deepen the lines for the eyes. And I'm going to take my, you can use a ball stylus or something and just make a little bit of an indentation here because their eyes are closed, right? Donc on fait les yeux fermés. C'est très très facile de faire ça. Trying to make sure that I don't get into, let me get the ball stylus. You know, I'm going to find my sculpting tool after all this is over, right? because that's what always happens. And then you need to gently make this area a little bit more recessed. To form the nose line. And continue it down a little bit. And gently, gently smooth the cheeks. This is the only part that will show, okay? And then deepen again the eyes lines. It doesn't have to be super duper exceptionally equal. What did I do? Now I'm going to gently push a little bit with my ball stylus to form a little bit of a nose. And then I will take my gum tool. You can try and do this also with the needle pointy tool, but I'm going to form nostrils. These will be my nostrils, and now I take again the ball stylus and gently bring the clay down to shape the nose. Reinforce the nostrils, and this time when you put it in, put the tool in, pull a little bit towards the outside, so that way you'll have the nostril line, and then gently shape the outside of the nostrils. Or you can use your X-Acto knife to do that. Again, I'm missing my little sculpting tool, something fierce. Until you get the properly looking nose. Just keep pushing the clay down with the ball stylus. And then you create the mouth. Once I do the mouth, I will put my eyeglasses on so I can see what you said. You make a cut. And then you gently bring the clay out to form the lip. And again, with your ball stylus, you shape a little bit the upper lip. And a little crease. And then you shape a little, just a minute, a little chin line. Sorry, I needed both hands to do this. You reinforce the bottom lip and you create a little chin line. And if you want them to look more smiling, make sure that you have the corners properly. You can bring this and do a little bit of a smile dimple here. And there we go, we have the face of the first baby. And it will be, the details will be better seen once we start applying a little bit of color on it. So let's do the second one. Hi, Deborah. Hi, everybody I haven't seen. As I was sculpting here. Now let's go on the second one, and this time, again, pay attention to what I'm doing. I'm removing my eyeglasses so I can see what I'm doing. So first, get your lines. So you will have two little eyes at the same distance. Then you'll have a little nose line. And I like to make the nose a little bit short because it makes the baby look cuter. And then you'll have the mouth line. Then create your 3 creases that suggest the closed eyes. Oops. And then make with the ball stylus, make the inside of the eye and the outline of the nose. And the same on the other side. I have long fingernails, or I would use my fingers more, but I cannot do that with long fingernails. Now let's do the first nostril poke. So when you insert it pretty much horizontally, and then you lift a little bit. Don't worry about these lines because they can get smoothed out. See, I can come back and smooth them out. Now we pull the clay down from here to shape the nose. Because they have itty bitty noses, it's very hard to make them otherwise. And you'll have a little gap here on top of the nose. And you can check from the profile if the nose is enough outwards, because you don't want it to look like a little piglet, right? And then you can create the nostril line. And I'm showing you how I do it with different tools because I don't know what you have there to use as sculpting tools. There's a lot of things. I mean, you can even use a toothpick to do this. Now let's make the eyes again. I'll come back to the eyes. Let's do the mouth line. Create the line first and then gently insert the X-Acto knife and bring the clay out and lift it. And create the upper lip. And then you'll have to see how it is right now. It's like this. You'll have to flatten it a bit. Let's make that crease under the nose. And then create the chin dimple. And they will all be a little bit differently looking. And this one we will not make it smiling, we'll just make it sleeping. Now let's do a little bit of blush on this. Let me catch up with the chat first. Yeah, that is yeah, the living doll is very good to do figurines out of it. Okay. Yes, you can do that. You just need practice. Let me grab some blush. Now I'm going to use just plain blush, regular blush. I'm trying to make sure that I'm in the camera view. And I need a smaller. Okay, I just dropped something. No, this one is not good. Okay, I'm going to take one of these rubber tipped things to grab a little bit of blush and put it right on the lips here. And of course you can use pastels if you want instead of blush. For me it's easier to just use the blush. I might need a darker one. Hold on a second, I need a darker blush. Okay, for the lips I do need a little bit of a darker blush. And I need to re-enhance here the little mouth line. Now let's blush the other one and then we'll put on the ears. I didn't smooth here enough. Okay, now let's do their ears and then they can go in the oven. To make the ears, we will need a little bit of clay. And get like a little ball. And just point it at both ends. Flatten it. And make sure that you do this to erase your fingerprint, of course. And then cut it in two. Now we shall take one at a time of these. I'm going to place one here. And the other one here. Make sure that you place them symmetrically. And then grab whatever you want to use for this. Remember, only the tips of the ears will be seen, so you don't have to be very Can you see well what I'm doing here? No, you can't. I'm too low. Sorry. I'll make sure that with the other one I come all the way up near the camera. And again, make sure that both ears are properly aligned. So again, taking a little bit of clay, make a little snake, and this one is too big. Point the ends, flatten it, then smooth out, cut it in two. Let me make sure that I'm high enough. Then place it on one side of the head. And the ear canal. Now check them out to make sure that they are okay. You can place a little bit of blush on the ears too if you want, and I want. So I'm going to put a little bit of blush on the ears. And on the other one. And now they go in the oven and they will bake while we are making the wings. Okay, let me go put them in the oven and I will be right back. I'll grab this out of the way. Okay, sorry it took so long, but I had some stuff to fix because you don't realize I turned off the lights so you can see better, but by turning off the lights right now, I don't have a lot of light and I pretty much sculpted blindly. I said that, Carrie, I put some in my Amazon influencer store. If you go on my channel and you click on the A that's on the header photo, it will bring you straight into my Amazon influencer store, and there's several different sets there that I've added in the store. But you have to look for a small size. Yeah, when you buy it, make sure that you select the small size. And I even found a pretty neat set, as I said, with these rubber tipped tools and bowl styluses that was around $10, I think, $12, something like that. Okay. Yes, and you'll see how the face comes even more to life when you put a little bit of acrylic wash. It will be even better. Okay, now let's go ahead and do the wings. Make sure that I am not in the... Okay. For the wings, I will use some liquid Kato. And we'll make some very, very simple wings. Super simple, actually. And wire that can be very thin. You don't need thick wire for this. Because these ones will be practically wrapped. The middle of them will be wrapped in the cheesecloth. So bend it in two. Not fully. I mean, don't make a too sharp of a fold here. And then again, at about the same size. And make like little bees wings. Actually, this is too small. I made it too small. Never mind. As I said, it's been a long time since I last made any. Oh, at about this size should be good. So bend it in two. Figure out where's your middle. And then at about the middle of the other two, make a bend. So you get your sizing. And then form like a bee's wing with it. My camera thing covering. C'est du 24, Régine. Mais tu peux utiliser n'importe quel. Tu peux utiliser du 20 même, ou du 22. J'ai dit qu'on n'a pas besoin de fil de cuivre trop gros. Pour ça, on peut utiliser un qui est très mince. And your whole thing is to, as before, to make sure that it's flat enough. Now on this one, I might have to use the lights. Yes, you can see better on this one, like this. And try to make them a little. And that's as I said, that's the main thing, to make sure that they are pretty much flat. This is the most time consuming to do the flatness. But that's fine if it goes overboard, because you can slightly trim it with a pair of scissors. Okay. Bring the thing has to be on top of the bottom, on top of the main one. Just fold it towards the other way and then gently bring it on top, because that way it will stay flat. This one, and then we use the Kato. And if you want to put any kind of, you can place some Angelina film, or I'll do this one simple with glitter, and the next one I'll do it with Angelina film. Or you can use Angelina film or cellophane if you want. So place some, let me plug my heat gun. Oh, come on. Get in there. There we go. Okay, now let's get the liquid clay. And you can use Kato, you can use anything. It doesn't really have to be super transparent, you know. As long as you shape, you can make this even with glaze, like min wax or something, only that you'll have to wait until it completely dries. Then bring the clay to the edge, so it will be all the way in the wire. The same as we did the fairy wings before. It's okay if it moves, because as I said, you can trim it with scissors. Just make sure that it touches the wire. It is completely in contact with the wire. Okay, and of course I don't have a... And you can use whatever glitter you want. If you have fancy glitter with pretty, whatchamacallit, hearts or flowers or whatever, just use those. Just going to use a little bit of the... Oops, okay, that was a little bit too much. And now, you know, I'm going to move the camera a bit, so I don't have the heat gun blowing straight on the camera. I'm sorry for the noise. One of them I need more clay. I need more clay here because it came out of the... I didn't flatten it enough. Now, normally you just put these in the oven because when you don't use the... Actually, I'll talk after this because I doubt you can hear me. Okay, so I said normally you'd put these in the oven because the heat gun practically pushes the liquid clay around and it makes it get off of the wire. I'm going to need to use the heat gun a little bit longer. Okay, sorry, I need to use the heat gun longer. Okay. Teresa's such a... She finds solutions for everything, really. By the way, I found that Big Lots, a huge canister of cookie cutters, metal cookie cutters that I bought and I'm going to just reshape. Teresa makes her own cookie cutters and I went and looked for what she uses, but that's too hard on my hands. So I prefer to just buy ready-made cookie cutters and just reshape them. Most of the time, to be honest, whenever I was making these baby fairies for sale, I would just use the either Judikins glaze or min wax and just let them dry overnight, cure overnight. Because you can just do on a big sheet of wax paper. And if you put the cellophane underneath, you don't care if it sticks because you can trim it. But as we don't have the time to wait for that to cure during the live, Show you how what? Yeah, Judikin's diamond glaze. That's how it's called. It's a very nice varnish. But you kind of need to know how to apply it. I will make soon a tutorial on various varnishes that are readily available and not super expensive, with how you should apply them and what you should pay attention to. Now, this, this is one of the things that I show you how to do it, but probably won't get, because some things cannot be done really in the time span of a live event. Some things need more time. Because like for this, I would definitely take my time to doing them, not have to get them off the tile. See, I broke this one. And they work much better with the varnish than with liquid clay. Let me get a little bit more liquid clay on this one, as I messed it up. With your pliers, you just straighten out the folds that you don't like and you reshape it practically. I'll show you one day. It's not that big of a deal. I'll do a short tutorial on how to reshape a cookie cutter. And now I really need to wait until it cools off a little bit, because that's why I broke it. Okay. Yes, Tina, you can, but those are very thin. They don't really hold the shape too well. Even if you strengthen them by putting polymer clay on one of the edges, they still don't hold because they are too thin. Okay, I'm going to wait on this one. Unfortunately, we cannot do different. And I'll bring a cookie cutter, and while we are waiting for those little heads to bake, I'll show you how to reshape a cookie cutter. Okay, so here's a cookie cutter that I don't really have, and why I prefer most of the time I prefer the metal cookie cutters, because I can do the puffy technique that you cannot really do with the 3D printed ones. So this is the cookie cutter. I don't really have a use for this shape. So what I'm going to do is first to go open the oven door so they can pull off a little bit. All right. Now, what you want to do is to undo the shape. So you're going to gently and always start with the part with the fold. So gently try and bring it to a rounder shape, because once you undo all these very, very gently, then you can reshape it to what you want. Bye, Cecile. I'm not going to. It's not that hard. And then once you got out the kinks, then you figure out about what shape you'd like to use. So I'm going to use one of the, try to make sure that the seam doesn't go in a corner. Okay, so I'm going to do a fairly irregular shape. But see, it's kind of hard for me to show you because I cannot bring all my stuff here on which I curve things. I'll just give you, this is just to give you an idea on how to do things. And you might have to use your hammer on them to give them a proper shape, but always first shape the part with the fold, and then you can go ahead and shape the cutting part. Once you get, because see here I'm going to have to use a hammer. But there, I have a different shape. I might even undo some of them here and cut them shorter and make them smaller. But pretty much, no, this one I'm going to make it round like this. and then this one straight, and this one a little, this will be a little bit in a diagonal. But I need to hammer it. I cannot, as I said, I cannot bring all my tools here. But this is pretty much how you reshape a cookie cutter. And see how, as a general idea, the cutting part will follow the fold part, but you'll still need, it's a good thing to hammer, use the hammer a little bit to get all the little kinks out. And then I have some round things that I bend them on and all that. But pretty much this is how you do it. Okay? It's not hard. Yeah, that shouldn't be. And I found these, I found at Big Lots, it's $10 for a container with 24 of them. So there's a lot of cookie cutters there that you can make for yourself. I'm not making them, I'm just reshaping them. Okay, you wanted to know how to reshape them, but it's not a big deal. And I told you, you just have to hammer some kinks out and always first shape this and then follow with this. You can cut it here, and then if you use like JB Weld, you can put them back. Yeah, they do straighten pretty easily. And as I said, like this, it's kind of hard. See this little kink here? This one, it's kind of hard to take out with just the pliers. On this one, you might need to hammer a little bit and stuff like this one. But as I said, I prefer the metal ones because you can do, if you remember the puffy technique where you get the sheet of clay. I have a scrap here. I'm not going to do it properly, but remember when you take the sheet of clay and then you start doing like this. I have a tutorial or two with this up. And you start doing like this. And then you get a second sheet of clay and you put it on here. And then you practically, on some of them, I prefer to bake them on the cutter. But you cannot do this technique with the 3D printed ones. Okay, I'll remember that. And does it hold well when baked, the aluminum tape? Gros bisous à toi, Sylvie, aussi. Yeah, it's not all over the United States. I know that there are some spots where you cannot find Big Lots. It's not everywhere. But where you have it, it's really good. Now, let me go grab the little heads. Okay, there we go. Oh yeah, I don't think it is in Canada. But you can find it in, I'm sure that you have some discount stores there too. You should be able to find something like that. Okay, so as I said, these are not very well done because I was sculpting pretty much blindly. I couldn't really see much. You might find stuff at the Dollar Tree too. Okay, then you take, excuse me, you take some burnt umber, and you need to do a wash, not a very concentrated color. And you practically apply it essentially on the eye area. Okay, I need a different paintbrush. This one won't work properly. Because what you need to do is to enhance the eye lines. And remember, use a wash, very diluted acrylic paint, very diluted. Because all you need is to just underline a little bit the features. Let's do that on the other one too. Again, very washed off. So dip the paintbrush in acrylic, then really wash it off, and then place it just in these spots, the nose and on the mouth, and then quickly wipe it off. You might have to repeat it, but better repeat it than getting too much. If you get some in a spot that you don't like it, you can always remove it with the alcohol, with Q-tip and alcohol. Merci Sylvie. Tu voulais du modelage, n'est-ce pas? Et voilà, finalement, on fait du modelage. And see, I got a little bit here that I didn't want to because I have a crease that shouldn't have been here. So wherever you have the acrylic and you don't want the acrylic to show, just use a Q-tip and some alcohol and just rub it off. And there we go, pretty much. Now let me put this out of the way so I wouldn't topple it. And let's shape the little body. And this part is fairly easy. Just spray alcohol on them. Spray a whole bunch of alcohol, and you probably didn't use enough wash. It was too concentrated. All righty. And did I bring in my... Now remember the cotton balls and the cheesecloth. I have some cheesecloth here of various colors. That some I dyed with food coloring. Some I dyed with acrylic paints. Let's pick one color. Let's do, no, because green won't show much. Let's do a purple one. And you can color them all kinds of colors. Now I'm going to probably cut this. It's a little bit too long. As I said from the beginning, it might be too long. And then I'm going to bend it a little bit so it would catch better in the cotton. Make sure you don't hold here when you bend it. You hold right above it. Hold on the wire because you don't want to crack your little baby fairy head. And then we are going to grab some cotton ball. And you can grab actually two because it's going to become much smaller once you start wrapping it. And you can unwrap the cotton ball and then just wrap it around the baby. Hold on a second. There we go, much better. And you figure out how much you need. You don't need it to be too fat. And then you grab your cheesecloth, put it in 4, pretty much, and put it first over his head. You will have to make a little bit of a cut here. Not really a cut, but get the scissors through in 2 spots to get the ears through them. Okay, I lost my cut. Not enough. And put the ears through the cuts. So you'll have the ears poking out of the swaddling. And then you just swaddle it in the cheesecloth. And at one of the swaddles, you can insert the wings. Oh, come on, I didn't take them out of here. I know I had somewhere around the house some extra wings made, but I cannot find them. This one needs to be thinner. Yeah, forgive the wings. They should look much better. But as I said, I have some issues today, apparently. And normally do them with something else, with a varnish or something. Okay, this is too big. This looks like crap. Sorry. Too much cotton. Okay, now that's better. So the way that you place the wings, you put it above, under, and then you turn it around. And then you just swaddle the whole bundle. Now you see why I'm not sculpting anymore? So pretty much they are like this. And then you place what I used to place. I have these little... these very crapola beads that I found in at some dollar store, I think they were. But see how they are different colors? Like for this one, I would pick this. And then I would place a little bit of glue here and then glue the bead. And of course, you can use... I didn't do a very good swaddling. I'm sorry, I'm starting to be in a lot of pain because I've been for so long on the chair in the same position. But then you make a little hole here and you place one of those loops and then you can hang it. But I will make... I already got what I needed. And I will make this coming week another tutorial. So hang on to these ones. Don't start... I mean, unless you want to really make them with the varnish and cellophane. The best works the iridescent cellophane and minwax, for example, or judikins. But I got another thing, another way to make fairy wings using whatchamacallit, baking trays, you know, the aluminum baking pans. There's a specific way you can use them to make baby fairies, fairy wings. And I will show you, but it takes 2 days because you make the fairy wing and then you need to let it cure overnight. But this is pretty much how you make the baby fairies. I'm sorry my hands are not more cooperating today, and it's one of those days where I can show you how it's done, but I cannot do it properly myself. But this is how they are done. And you can see they are quite adorable. And they are not hard to make. So even the sculpting is not hard to make. You can just keep noter quoi? Non, c'est de l'étamine, Sylvie. Donc, excusez-moi parce que aujourd'hui, mes mains ne travaillent pas très bien. C'est un de ces jours où je peux vous montrer comment on le fait, mais je ne peux pas le faire très bien moi-même. Ça, c'est de l'étamine. C'est le tissu qu'on use pour faire du fromage. Et moi, je le peins avec des couleurs pour les œufs ou pour faire les œufs de Pâques ou simplement acrylique. Thank you. J'ai montré comment on peut le sculpter. Utilisez du blush, du rouge à joues pour ajouter le rose sur les joues. Et l'acrylique, l'ombre acrylique, faites-le très, très dilué. Et laissez tomber quelques gouttes seulement sur les yeux, le nez et la bouche. Et ensuite, oui, des compresses aussi, mais le problème, c'est que dernièrement, dans les compresses, on ne met plus du tissu, mais on fait c'est une sorte de papier qui ressemble au tissu, mais tu ne peux pas l'utiliser pour ça. Yeah, it's not hard. It's not hard at all. They are quite easy to make, and I am sorry that I've been doing so much stuff since yesterday. I'm trying to get several packages ready to go in the mail, and I'm trying to do a whole bunch of stuff, and my back is hurting and my hands are hurting. So you saw how they don't work very well when it comes to pinching and wrapping and knotting. But yeah, so ideally you just fold it and then you make 2 holes fairly large close to the edge so you can put the ears through, and then all you do is to just wrap around the cotton and you get them. But they are not. And I had a lot of people, whenever I was selling them at fair, there are people buying them all the time, not just for Christmas ornaments, but they make great rear view mirror ornaments, you know. Peut-être, tu ne sais pas comment elles sont en France, mais ici, c'est pas... tu ne peux plus trouver l'étamine dans les bandages. On utilise seulement du papier. Mais l'étamine teintée fait toujours de très jolis effets. Et tu vois, comme c'est pas teinté dans une couleur uniforme, parce que c'est pas teinté dans une couleur uniforme, lui donne un aspect plus organique. Saying that the cheesecloth painted like that, dyed like that with acrylic wash, does not get dyed uniformly and gets all this organic effect, and it's really neat. Also, maybe sometime later in the year, next year, I will start making some mixed media jewelry to show you how you can actually get this kind of fabrics and fibers in your jewelry when you're making jewelry. Thank you, Soile. Yeah, they are all they come up very, very cute. And as I said, you don't have to worry about how the rest of the head looks, just this little area of the face and pretty much the ears up to here, because everything else is hidden by the swaddling. Donc j'ai dit c'est relativement facile à sculpter et vous ne devez faire d'importance que au visage et le bout des oreilles, parce que tout autre est caché par l'étamine. Yeah, it actually comes up really, really nice, the mixed media. I mean, there are some things that I found quite interesting. I mean, including the using macrame and crocheting to make bales, you know, but actually putting different types of fabrics and fibers and all that in the clay, you know, and you'll see when I'll get there, you'll see. It's very, very interesting. Thank you. Okay, so I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that I was close enough to the camera when I was sculpting so you could see how to make them. And don't feel like it's too difficult. It is very, very easy to make them. All you need, and remember, this is clay. If you don't like the face, just squish it over, make again another bead, and make another face until you get the hang of it. C'est pas difficile de sculpter. Essayez, refaites. Si vous n'aimez pas comme vous avez fait, vous pouvez simplement refaire la perle et commencer de nouveau. C'est seulement de la pâte. C'est pas grand-chose. Je suis heureuse, Tipounette, et j'attends avec impatience tes photos. And please send me photos of how you managed to do them, because I am sure that you would like them in the Christmas tree and on your rear view mirror. And we'll make hopefully by the end of next live, I was thinking of making some other kind of little figurine ornaments for Christmas. Maybe, I don't know, maybe a Rudolph or something that would be also easy to sculpt. Donc, je pensais pour le prochain live de faire encore de la sculpture pour des ornements pour l'arbre de Noël, peut-être un petit Rudolph qui serait facile à sculpter. Est-ce que vous aimeriez ça? Would you like that, to make a little Rudolph? I hope you do. So if you have another idea, just leave me a comment here, and I will see what I can do. So have a great Sunday. Vous avez un bon dimanche. And thank you for being here with me. And don't forget to send me the photos of what you did. Okay? N'oubliez pas de m'envoyer des photos de votre création. Merci. Bye.